Good morning, day 69. Wow, I'm almost out of the 60s. So today is actually supposed to be 57 degrees out. Yay! And tomorrow's supposed to be in the 50s but raining. And then it's going right back into the 20s and 30s. So of course, when the weather gets nice, I start thinking about gardening. I know not all of you are into gardening, but I've been into gardening for a long time. It was always something I did for actually therapy. When I had things going on that were really bothering me, I would head out to the garden and do some things out there. But I wasn't always into vegetable gardening, but the last few years I have been. I've always loved to plant flowers, but I think I need to start some of my vegetables, but I'm leaving it pretty low-key this year. Last year I had a lot of tomato plants that had come up, and I had given some away, and I overplanted because I figured not that many plants would come up, but they did. And then I ended up just leaving them in the little pots because I didn't have any more room, and I don't want to do that this year. So this is the year 2022 for me is the year of being reasonable. So I think that's a good goal to have, just to be reasonable. And that's depends on who you are. You know, what's reasonable to you may not be reasonable to me, and it doesn't matter what other people think. So do your own reasonable. So maybe I'll talk a little bit about that today. In the meantime, nice hot coffee, and I'll be back with breakfast in a little bit. Breakfast day 68, no, 69. So I looked in my pantry and I found this cheese and garlic biscuit. So I thought, well, I could make some biscuits and gravy for breakfast. So let's go over and see what's what. All right, the good old fridge. Isn't it nice that we have all these modern conveniences? All right, I need to use up this almond milk because now I have this West soy opened that I used for my yogurt, so I don't want too much milk. I suppose I could freeze some, but that would defeat the purpose of cooking down the freezer. So I don't have any meat in here. By that I mean vegetarian meat. So let's look in the freezer. And you guys, you know, whenever I make a video about vegan cooking and all that, you know, just substitute whatever protein you like. So it doesn't have to be just what I like. It's about you too. In fact, most of this is about you. All right. So I know I don't have any sausage meat. So, but I did find this. I was excited. And this is guacamole. So I'm putting this in the refrigerator because tonight I want to either have chicken tacos or fish tacos. So that way I can use up some of my lettuce. And I know I have salsa, so that'll work for dinner. But in the meantime, I need... Oh, I love these little slide-out things. I got these at Mark's years ago, and they fit just nicely in here. So I have all kinds of ground burgers in here. And I think I'm going to, I don't want too much, but I think I'm going to take this out because it's already starting to get some ice on it. So I'll use one patty for sauce to make sausage, and the other patty I'll make something else with. So I'm going to thaw that out. And this is still all, these are not chicken tenders, and then I still have all these vegan meats, Impossible meats, Sweet Earth. I have some Aldi's meat in here, the potatoes. I have a few fried pickles that I want to use up. So I still have lots of vegan meats in here, and I still have lots at my mother's. So I'm going to take that out for dinner, and I still have cheese, so I don't need any cheese. And if I didn't have any of this vegan meat, I can always use tofu as a substitute for the grounds, just chop it up. All right, so I actually have a little more room now. That's awesome. These are all fruits. I need to start using these up. Well, I don't want to pull those out. I'll make a mess. And these are more vegan meats and leftovers. So still lots of food to cook. And when you're making vegan grounds, you can also add walnuts, which I have frozen back there, but I also have some that are thawed. So I may add some walnuts in with that, because walnuts are one of the healthiest nuts that you can eat. All right, I will meet you at the stove. Here we are back at the stove. So I find these biscuit things to kind of be a little bit dry sometimes. I don't know, maybe it's just me. So this supposedly makes 6 servings, 1/3 cup of mix. So I'm going to make the whole package, because maybe my grandson, he likes biscuits, maybe he'll want to eat some. But what I'm going to do is, instead of using water, I'm going to use my yogurt. So the last batch of yogurt that I had, I did not make with agar-agar, which is a thickener. It's a seaweed-based thickener. It doesn't taste like seaweed. But for people that don't want to use gelatin or anything that's animal-based, and yes, gelatin is animal-based, you know, they use agar-agar or kappa-carrageenan. There's all kinds of different thickeners out there. But I'm going to go ahead and use this, and I may need to add some water because it may not be as thin as if I used all water. So it says 1/3 cup of water, so I'll use 1/3 cup of mix. Okay, and then I'm just going to mix it up and see what we come up with. So, like I said before, my yogurt is pretty tangy. I let it ferment quite a while. So, we'll see about eating it, but if I don't eat it, then I'll definitely cook some things with it. Yeah, it hasn't gotten any more sour since I put it in the fridge, but if you like a sour yogurt, you'd really like it, I think. So I'm just going to go ahead and mix this up. And then I'm going to let it sit for 10 minutes or so, just to hydrate the mix. Sometimes if you do that with pancakes, they turn out better. So I wanted to talk a little bit about this Beyond Burger. Now, I prefer, my favorite is the Impossible Burger, but the Beyond Burger is good too. And it contains 20 grams of protein, which is a lot of protein. And it's non-GMO, no soy, no gluten. and it has 250 calories per serving. And this has 2 servings in it. So, let's see, what else? Yeah, and you cook it pretty much like you cook meat. You know, you have to cook it up to a certain temperature. So, it's a complete protein. So I just thought I'd share that with you. All right, I'm going to go back to mixing my biscuits, and then I'll be back. So the yogurt's still hanging in there, not moldy or anything. It does have a couple little lumps in it, but I think that's from the agar-agar flakes. I don't think I dissolved them enough. So you live and learn. You know, you just carry on and try again. Next time I'll use the agar-agar powder. But I do want to try that Instapot recipe that one of my viewers shared with me. I'll try that first. So, it's edible. Like I said, it's pretty sour, but yogurt is, and I put sweetener in it anyway. So, back in the fridge she goes. And we'll see how it is with biscuits. It was really good with the pancakes that I made the other day. And I have a video about that, a couple days ago. My biscuits are done, and I just tasted them. Oh my God, are they good. They have the same texture as Red Lobster's Cheddar Bay biscuits. Really moist. They're really good. Next time I make these, I'm going to put the garlic butter on there. They are really good. That yogurt worked out beautifully. And they're real fluffy. When I made those biscuits, just according to the package directions, I really didn't like them. And I kind of wanted to use them. I have another package, wanted to use them up. But these are just, they're really good. Definitely try adding the yogurt. And I ended up adding, besides the half a cup of yogurt, I ended up putting 2 tablespoons of water. And then I let them sit. I let them sit in the bowl for 10 minutes. That relaxes the gluten a little bit in the flour. Then I put them on the tray and I let them relax another 10 to 20 minutes. And then I bake them at 425 for 11 minutes. And they're really good. 10 minutes would be probably perfect. They'd be a little less golden. But if you like them a little more brown, then 11 minutes. But these are really, I'm really happy with these. It's like the Cheddar Bay biscuits. You can't quit eating them. All right. In the meantime, I took my Beyond Burger and crumbled it up. And then I researched and I did some sausage seasoning. And if I remember, I'll link what I used in the comments below. But you can even use, you can use that with plain ground pork, plain ground beef if you don't have sausage. But I'm also going to add a little bit of this smokehouse maple. This is salty, so don't add too much, but it gives it a really good flavor. So I'm going to make a sausage gravy now, and I'll be back after I get the ingredients. Okay, I'm back. So in here I have a tablespoon of butter, or margarine, or oil, or whatever. You need a fat. And to that I'm going to add a tablespoon of flour, and I'm going to make a roux. And this is going to be my sausage gravy. And you want to cook it a little bit to get the raw flour taste out before you add your milk. So I'm going to cook this on medium-low. So really, I am very impressed with those biscuits. I'll have to make more yogurt. But I'll tell you, if you buy that yogurt, I just can't get over that $5 price tag on plant-based non-dairy yogurt. I just can't get over that. It's ridiculous. Okay, enough about that. So this is the first time I've used this mix, and I ended up putting, I had a little bit like half a teaspoon of that smokehouse maple. I put that in here too. But I want to try making those oatmeal patties that they used to make as a meat substitute in World War II. And I've made them before, but I haven't really had a good sausage mixture, seasoning mixture that you know, blew my socks off. So I'm going to give this one a try. But I did season my meat with it. So this is going to go back in after I get this done. And I do want to use up this almond milk, and it's unsweetened. So maybe I'll try making some yogurt with that too, although that probably wouldn't work because this is not, well, it says no preservatives added, no artificial flavors, but it does contain Gillan gum, gum arabic, potassium citrate, guar gum, sea salt, natural flavor, vitamin A, and vitamin D3. So, but anyway, you know, nothing ventured, nothing gained. I could try making just a very small batch of it. Then if it doesn't work out, then I can always not use it again. But you never know if you don't play around, you know, become a food scientist. I know not everybody likes to cook, but I do. And I really enjoy cooking different things that end up tasting really good. And figuring out how to use my ingredients up instead of always buying more and more and more. Because, I don't know, can't get anywhere. So, like I was saying, I'm using the money that I've saved in the last, well, 2 to 3 months. I mean, Christmas was in there, but it was a very low-spend Christmas. And I've been using that money to redo my living room. So my goal is to stay under $1,000 for that, hopefully less, but we'll see. You know, I mean, well, I did buy 2 chairs, so of course that's a big chunk of the money. But for all the other things that I'm using to pull the room together, they really were not that expensive. And I bought almost everything on Amazon because I have not been out shopping and I don't want to go out shopping. So if you want to make a little bit of a browner gravy instead of a white gravy, you can always let this flour brown a little bit. But I just want a sausage gravy. So I'm going to add a little bit of my sausage seasoning mix to this. And hopefully this isn't too salty, because sausage is salty, just like bacon. And I personally like salt, but sometimes things are even a little too salty for me. So I'm going to let this cook for a little bit. I may need to add a little bit more milk, but all the lumps are out, which is good. But as this cooks, it thickens more. And I do not want a ton of sausage and gravy. I wouldn't mind it for 2 days, but you know, it's hard to cook down the freezer if you keep making leftovers. And some leftovers is nice, because when you don't feel like cooking, at least you have that to fall back on. But too many leftovers isn't good. I'm going to give this a taste. Yep, can use a little more seasoning. Better to add a little at a time than to add too much. And plus that, as this is cooking, you don't quite know if it's going to be thick enough or too thick. So this is looking pretty good, but I think I'm going to add just a splash more milk, because as it cooks it will thicken up. And making your own gravy is really easy, you know. It's just a few ingredients and you can make it as tasty as you want. And if you don't eat meat, you can use you can brown up mushrooms, and then with the bits you can use those, because mushrooms have a very meaty taste, and some of them are meatier than others. All right, taste this again. Oh, can even use a little bit more. And if you make something too salty by accident, then you can always add more milk or water or broth. I'm going to add some black pepper to this. The seasoning has black pepper in it, but I want more pepper in my gravy here. All right. So I think that's a good consistency. I'm going to add my meat back in. And see, the meat is cold, so it's thickening up the gravy. So I'm going to have to add more milk, because gravy does thicken as it gets cold. So a little more milk, which means maybe a little more seasoning, and you kind of have to play back and forth with it. But it is possible to have biscuits and gravy if you're vegetarian or vegan. And I know some people don't want to eat the fake meat, but you know, I like it, so I'll eat it. You know, anything that you eat in excess isn't good for you, but I think most things are okay to at least eat a little bit of. Everything in moderation, that old saying. Okay, I think that's going to be good. I'm going to heat this up, and then I'm going to plate up some biscuits and gravy. So I'll be back. Okay, there we have it. Breakfast day 69. Some of my homemade yogurt with grapes, sausage and biscuits. Yummy. All right, I'll be back later. Okay, so it's almost dinner time, and I went a little bit off the no-spend, low-spend reservation today. Not bad. But I wasn't going to buy any more shoes or things like that. But I did say I would have a low buy on it, and I would allow myself an outfit once a month if I had to. Well, I haven't really bought any clothes lately. So when I went to the function the other day, I realized I like wearing the short boots, and the only thing I had was a taller pair of boots. So anyway, I didn't wander too far. But I only had a tall pair of boots, and they were really hard for me to get on, and I bought them a few years back. And the heel was kind of high. Not real high, but not as low as I like them now. So I realized I didn't have a pair of booties that go with my dark gray coat. So instead of blabbing about it, I'm going to show you what I bought. So these are the little booties I bought. Wow, those look really big. They're bigger than my head. They're not that big. That's more reasonable. Remember, I want to be reasonable. So anyway, they look really cute on. They have a little bit of a platform, and the heel, it's a 3-inch heel, but by the time you take into consideration the platform part, it's like a 2.5-inch heel. So they're comfortable. They're not real leather. They look like faux suede, but I only paid $29 for them, so I didn't do too bad. But that's it. To me, that was a reasonable purchase, a reasonable pair of shoes. So what's reasonable? What's reasonable to you? It's specific to what you feel is reasonable. I felt that was a reasonable purchase. I had a reason to buy it, and did I have to have them? No. But rather than buying 2 or 3 or 4 pairs of shoes, to me it was reasonable to buy those shoes for the snow, and they go with my coat. Okay, so we can justify anything, right? So, but that was my reasonable explanation. So what else do I want to be reasonable about? I want to be reasonable about the amount of food I eat. Now, I'm not a big eater. I used to eat way more than I do now, but my metabolism burned it all off. I've never been a heavy person. But as I'm getting older, I have to adjust to a more reasonable amount of food. And I feel like I do that. Same goes with my home decor. I bought some decor for my living room, but I didn't go crazy, and it's a reasonable amount of decor for a reasonable amount of money. So that's what I mean by reasonable. So anyway, I just wanted to mention a couple things. And it's dinner time, so let's see what we're having for dinner tonight, day 69. Okay, here we go. Well, I still decided I want to have the tacos. So I'm going to also have the rest of my pasta salad. And normally, if I make fish tacos, I normally have coleslaw on them, but I don't have any, and that's okay. I have plenty of romaine, so I'll put some of that on there. And let's see, I will need some of this avocado. And that was in the freezer. And then up here I want some ranch dressing. And then that's, oh, I need some cheese. So I'm going to use this Mexican style cheddar blend. So I'll use that, and that's it. And I will sprinkle some of this homemade cheese on there, and that's a little bit spicy, but not much. And I have no idea how I made it. It's been in there quite a while. So, okay, let's go over to the freezer. And, oh, I'm so happy I have some space. And I decided I'm not having the chicken. I'm going to have, let's see. Oh, sorry for all the noise. I'm going to have these fishless fillets. And these are good. I really like these. So those will be, I'll be buying those again. But I think I still have some at my mom's in the freezer. So that's it. And I will meet you at the stove. I have still some tortillas. I have corn and flour tortillas in the back there. I ate some the other day when I made the taquitos. But I'm going to have 2 of the flour tortillas. And, you know, they're kind of past their prime, but I'm going to zap them in the microwave for 30 seconds and freshen them up a little bit between a damp paper towel. Okay. And I added some shredded lettuce to my pasta salad, and I also put some salsa in there, and I added the rest of the shredded carrots that I did yesterday in there as well. And the salsa I had down in my pantry. So this one is, it's good. It's Aldi's mild salsa. So I'm going to put these tacos together. And hopefully I didn't overcook these because they're steaming. All right, let's see. No, they're okay. They're all right. So there we go. And then this is the guacamole that I had frozen. And as you can see, it still looks pretty good. But the trick is you have to cover it airtight. So I was happy to find that. So I'm going to get my fish and put these together. So over the past few years, I've of course bought the fish, you know, faux fish and faux meats, and I've discovered the ones that I like, the ones I don't like. I still have some in there that were they were okay, but I didn't love. So from now on, I'm only going to buy those that I really, really like. But sometimes you have to try things in order to figure out what it is you like. You know, it's like trying on shoes. Some fit, some don't. Alright, so I put some cheese on there. I'm going to put some salsa on there. And this is really good in the pasta salad if you want to zip it up a little bit. So I've got that. And I'm going to put some of this guacamole on. Now the thing with the guacamole is you want to eat it, you know, pretty soon after you thaw it, because it will turn dark. But I don't think I'll eat all of this, so maybe I'll stick some in my pasta salad. That would be good. But it still tastes perfectly fine. Okay, I'll put some in my pasta salad. And then I'm going to put on some of this shredded lettuce. Okay, I'm back. I had to check it out. I have some neighbors that are like in and out of their house 100 times a day. And of course that makes my dogs bark, but that's life with dogs. There's always somebody that's got something to say, right? All right, and then I'm just going to put some ranch dressing on here. So it's the fish fillet, the Mexican cheese, salsa, guacamole, lettuce, and a little bit of ranch. Okay, and then I still have enough. If I want another taco, I have enough to go ahead and have one more. So I put a little bit of the avocado in here, and I'm sure that'll be fine. It'll add a little bit of extra flavor. It's good. All right. Well, I'm going to have to eat all this pasta salad because if I don't, I can't save it again now. But I think I'll be able to eat it. And it's a little extra nutrition with the carrot and the avocado. And it's tasty. Okay, and then this is a little bit of the spicier cheese. I'll put that on. I'll sprinkle some on my pasta too. This was a cheese that I made that I wanted to age, and it just dried up, so I just blitzed it in the blender, and it turned out fine. Okay. So here is dinner, day 69, fish tacos with pasta salad. All right, my friends, that's all I have for you today. I want to wish you abundant blessings. I love you guys. Be good to yourself, be good to others. God bless you, and I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, comment, and like. Thanks for watching.